So anyway, let me go ahead and get started. So I don't want to keep y'all waiting. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about the smear campaign, and I just wanted to let people know that the smear campaign with me started 2 years ago. For those who are wondering, like, what is wrong with her? Why is she acting like that? So the smear campaign started 2 years ago, and then I want to tell y'all who don't know what a smear campaign is. It's when someone intentionally tries to damage your reputation. And the purpose of that is, in case the truth ever comes out, you won't be credible. And so that's what was done to me. Like I said, if you caught the live last night, I was talking about the family, friends, strangers, pretty much anybody who would listen. I'm not going to call anybody a narcissist, but I'm going to say that that's what people with narcissist traits, that's what they do. And I want to put this out there, the smear campaign ends now. It's over. Okay? No more will I be quiet. That's done. So let's just get that clear. If you got a problem with that, go ahead and delete me. Go ahead and block me. Because a lot of stuff is going to come out. I'm not intentionally trying to attack anyone. I will be telling some of my truth, some of the things that was done to me, some of the things that I experienced. I'm going to be mindful of other people's feelings. I'm not trying to kick people while they're down, even though that was done to me. But this is the thing. When you hit someone, you do not get to tell them how loud to say ouch, and you don't get a say so in how they hit you back. That's just what it is. So whatever comes out from this, it is what it is. Okay? A lot of people who are guilty by association, you will be coming off of my page, because I'm not cool with the screenshots being sent out. Like I said in the comments, if somebody has cut me off, don't send them nothing about me. Nothing. That's very weird, and I just don't like it. So no hard feelings. I don't know who the person is. So anybody that's guilty with association, they just getting put out. You can stalk my pages. You can follow me on YouTube, whatever. Because at this point, if you ain't showing no support, you with me or you against me. And that's how I feel about it. So I will be coming live again regularly, sharing things to help other people. So again, if you got a problem with that, just go ahead and block me. For the people that reached out to me, thank you for y'all kind words. Oh, and another thing that I want to say is that when something happens and somebody starts talking about somebody, complaining about somebody, and even if that's like somebody that you're close with, somebody that you feel is credible, what I learned in this situation is to always pray and ask God for wisdom and discernment, because sometimes people go through things and they hit dark spaces and they don't know how to come out. So with that said, they become something else or someone else, or however you want to put it. So with that said, I say always ask God for the truth. If somebody is coming to you with anything, even me, when I'm coming over here and telling my story, I don't have no problem with you praying and asking God, am I telling the truth? Do that. That's wisdom. So I'm not looking for anybody to be taking sides, or I'm not looking for anybody to be taking my side, but I do notice a lot of BS, and I'll just say it like that. Last night, I was being disrespectful, but I meant what I said. I could have cleaned it up and said it nicer, but everything that was said last night, I absolutely and truly meant it, okay? And like I said, from now on out, I will speak on things with some integrity, and not lashing out like I was last night. Okay, but again, thank y'all for reaching out to me. Thank y'all for caring. Thank y'all for showing love. And just know that I am good. For the people who missed the live last night, I talked about how people is looking at me saying her joy doesn't look fake. My joy is not fake. I grieved a lot while I was in the house with them. So when I got out of the house, it was a sigh of relief. Am I done grieving? Absolutely not. But I'm not at the beginning process. Like, the beginning of my grief did not start once the separation happened. I was already grieving a lot of stuff. One of the things that is crazy to me is that once I start recognizing the manipulation and the gaslighting, and I called them out on it, then it was, we need to sit down and have a conversation with Mom and tell her that we need to admit you in a mental hospital. And when he said this to me, I just stood there and looked at him. Because at this point, I knew the nigga was cuckoo. And I knew that he felt exposed. People with narcissist traits, they have control issues. They care about their image. That is major for them. So that post that he got ChatGPT to write, talking about calls go unanswered, text goes unanswered, it can give off the illusion that when he called, I don't answer. That's not the case. He's talking about a 6-year-old phone. When he called her phone or text her phone, she don't answer. That's not about me. Once she don't answer her phone for a few weeks, he will contact her through my phone, and he gets an answer every single time. So I just want to make that clear for the people who probably looking like, oh, she's bitter. Absolutely not. You wanted out, you got out. In fact, when I left at the beginning of March, I told him, I said, you don't have to pay me any child support for the month of March. I said, you can start paying me child support in April. I said, but you need to file for the divorce by April the 1st. It costs $300 to get a divorce in Georgia, and it can be done in less than 90 days. So if you wanted out that bad, you would have been making arrangements in the 2 years where you was doing a smear campaign. You would have been making arrangements to get out. You ain't never being held hostage. Okay? One thing about me, I ain't chasing no nigga. I ain't pressed for no nigga. I stayed. I tried to make things right with my husband. The goalposts kept changing. Time after time after time after time. First is finances. Okay, my business pick up. I'm giving you money. Okay, once I'm giving you money, then is we're not compatible. We don't like the same music. We don't laugh at the same things. Stupid shit, y'all. Then after that, it was you don't know how to receive love. You don't love me. You a narcissist. The list goes on. And when you are manipulated and gaslit by somebody, y'all, it is an experience like no other, especially when you know the person and you know that's not their character. At one point in time, I started to believe it. When I first started therapy, I told the therapist, like, I am the reason my marriage is failing. I told my friends, I am the reason my marriage is failing. And people started looking like, something ain't right. Because if you want out of a marriage, you can do things in decent and in order. You do not have to tear someone down. And that's what he did to me. He tried to tear me down for a whole year. And as a few months ago, he texted me. I'm the receipt queen. He texted me and told me that he intentionally hurt me. So if that ain't giving narcissist traits, I don't know what is. I get it. Hurt people are hurt people. But like I told him, I did not deserve that. I am the only stable parent that our child has right now. So why would you intentionally try to break me? I don't understand that. And, people will start saying like, well, Shannon, that ain't right. If he want out, he don't have to tell you that. Telling me nobody gonna want me, which he know it was a lie. He was hoping that I was crazy enough to believe that. But by that time, I was in a better space, and I was just like, that's some BS. And I told him, I said, a lot of women do not run their household the way that I do. So you might think the grass is green on the other side, but once you get over there, you're going to realize that this ain't that. And back to the rewriting our whole marriage. He rewrote our whole marriage and said that I was never there for him. Never. I can recall times where he said I was his best friend. So was the mask then or what's the mask now? Because it's a mask somewhere. Something is wrong. So, like I said, therapy opened up some doors that he didn't have the coping skills for. And instead of seeing therapy through, he said, I now know why I am the way that I am, and I'm done with therapy. And the reason why he said he was done with therapy, I'm assuming, I don't know. I think at this point he started feeling exposed. At this point, I had caught him texting a female. And so things escalated from there. And then that's when he was like, I'm going to quit therapy. I'm done. Every time he got mad at me, he was done. Just the capacity of a younger person. And so that's when I realized that whatever happened in therapy, he became emotionally stunted. And that means that you go back to somewhere in your childhood where the trauma happens at, and you're stuck there mentally and emotionally. I noticed that he was at a place where he could not control his emotions. And I hate that for him. And I hate that I had to put him out in the way that I did. But like I said, this smear campaign has been going on for 2 years, and I have been quiet. Nobody can tell me that one of his friends, nobody has picked up that something is mentally off. You can't convince me that nobody has noticed by now. I will say this, with people with narcissist traits, they speak with logic, because a lot of the things that he was saying to me in the beginning was logical. And that's why I said, I believe that I was the problem. And did I try to be there for him? Absolutely. I sat with him. I held his hand. How are you feeling? At night, held his hand. How can I pray for you tonight? I tried everything I knew to do to be there for him. And he was always saying, nobody is there for me. Nobody is there for me. And so once I started reading on the textbook narcissists, I realized that is textbook. They feel like no one is there for them. But what was weird to me is that he had so many people that he was smearing my name to. And I'm like, how do you not have nobody there for you, but you talking to these people about me? Like, how is it, like, it just wasn't adding up. So I asked him to go back to therapy, of course. We did marriage counseling that I was paying for. He said that I sat on my ass for 14 years and did absolutely nothing. It's a roach. What is that? Oh, okay. But I perfected my craft in 14 years. And that's something that he once took pride in. But when he got to this place, then, like I said, everything was rewritten. You were never there for me. You never loved me. You never did this. You never did that. And it's crazy because when I looked at my financial end, and of course mine wasn't as much as his, but for him to say he said I did absolutely nothing, and I'm like looking at this like this ain't that. So that was weird to say that you built the life that we had by your motherfucking self. That was crazy as hell. And oh, and this is another thing that I wanted to speak on too about marriage. He's towards the end. I overheard him telling his ex co-worker Jesse. I walked in on him saying she was depressed and she couldn't pull herself up, so I had to pull myself out. So he was saying that his my depression was the ending was the reason why our marriage ended. So I'm pretty sure a bunch of different people got a bunch of different versions of what actually happened. And at this point, I'm okay with that. I'm not finna say right now what actually happened, but I'll just say that he ain't telling the truth. Oh, and another thing that I realized too about these people is that they project a lot. So a lot of things that were said to me were really confessions of how he felt by himself. Like, for instance, one time he was telling me, you don't love yourself. And it had me like, at first I was looking at him like he was crazy. Then after a while, I was like, what did I do to make him think I don't love myself? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. Y'all, it was just all so weird. But when he looked me in my face and told me that we need to sit down with Mom and admit me to the mental hospital, that was one of the biggest, craziest things. It was one of them. But this guy was doing a lot of unhinged things, a lot of it. And like I said, I am still covering him in a way. Even though it looks like I'm exposing him, trust me, he's still being covered. Something else I was going to say about the lie. I can't think. I lost my train of thought. But I just feel like the people around him were not asking the right questions. Because with them, they cannot handle a lot of questions. So if you start asking them a lot of questions, that'll make the mask break too, even though they are big liars. He has admitted to being a liar. He has admitted to being somewhat different. And whatever state that he got in, he was in a place where he didn't know me. And he thought in his mind that he did. And I say that it's because of the statements that he made to me. He sounded very sure. And I remember having a conversation with him. And I said, it's obvious that you don't know me the way that you think you do. And I don't know you right now. So let's get to know one another. Let's start doing date nights. I had the deck fixed up all pretty, the lights on there, when I got a rug, hooked it up, whatever. We started, doing music, a bottle of wine, playing cards, doing stuff like that. So then he said that he felt like it was forced on his end. So, okay, stop doing that. Let him be. So then, I stopped talking to him. He was in the house. I left him alone. He said he wanted out. All right, you good, you got it. I stopped cleaning up behind him. I stopped laying out his clothes. I stopped washing his clothes. I stopped packing his lunch. I stopped cooking his dinner. I stopped doing all the wifely duties. Now, at some points when we weren't talking, I still was doing my wifely duties. I still was packing his lunch. I still was washing his clothes. I still had his clothes laid out for him when he got home for, you know, when he took his shower or whatever. So it was a bunch of different phases. But during the time where I stopped doing everything, I wasn't talking to him. I would get my baby, take care of my baby, get her back and forth to school, doing everything I need to do. Won't nothing to say to each other. He started spiraling out of control on social media, posting negative stuff. And then he texted me one day. I'm not going to say all of what he said because, again, I'm covering him. But he said, what did he say? He said, "You're not going to kill me." He said, "Let me know what needs to happen for us to go our separate ways because you're not going to kill me." And I was like, I didn't respond because I was looking like, how am I going to kill him? I don't even talk to him. And so now that I know that he has those narcissist traits, that me not talking to him was killing him. They expect you to chase them. They feel like they are larger than life. They want to feel wanted. They want to feel in control. They want to feel like you can't live without them. And so, like I said, when I was quiet, he didn't like that. But his mouth was saying one thing and his actions were saying another thing. Like, this was a tug of war thing going on. The house had got toxic as hell. Was I guilty of some of it? Absolutely. The 252 started coming out. And that is not something I wanted for my daughter. I realized that he was at a place where I think he liked that toxic stuff. But I didn't like it because I had been there, done it in the past, and I didn't want to be that person again. And I definitely didn't want my daughter to see it because she's seen and she heard entirely too much. So I was like, God, what is this? I said, you know, the behaviors have become erratic. I said, it's no way you want me to stay in this with my daughter. If I'm a generational curse breaker, what is happening right now? Excuse me. And so, my baby, she loves her father. She loves her father to death. I would never try to take her from him. However, when he kept her the first time, and he did not bathe her for 3 days, I still do not know why. I know that some people with narcissist traits, they will do that to punish the partner. I'm not going to say that's why he did, but I feel like it is a big possibility that that is the reason he did that. Because there's no other excuse. She was pooping. She was throwing up. Like, it was just weird. Yolanda had picked her up from school. She had been to a bounce house. She had went to a restaurant before she got with him. All these public places with all these public germs. And then she get with him and she pooping. She got diarrhea and she throwing up and you don't get her a bath? Like, what? Never are you going to be in a public place, school or anywhere else, and you come home and you not get your tail washed. Like, he know that's not how I operated as a parent. So I do not, for the life of me, understand. But anyway, so after that, I did not attack him. I was pissed. I was out of town when I found out. When he was done with her with the weekend, she was back with my mom. And so when I had talked to her, she told me that. And so I didn't reach out to him. I didn't cuss him out. I didn't do none of that because I know that he was mentally in a place. But I still cannot understand why would he do that. Anyway, so fast forward to the next time that he asked to keep her. I said, you can get her anytime after 8 a.m. I said, she needs to be back home at, I forgot exactly what time. Maybe I said 7:30. And I said, but she cannot stay with you overnight. And so he started calling me like, oh my God, you're trying to keep her from me. He was repeating it over and over and over and over and over. Like he was trying to convince himself in his mind, like, you trying to keep her from me. And I was like, listen, I said, I am not trying to keep her from you. I said, I'm telling you, you can keep her all day long. She just cannot spend the night because it's looking like parenting is too much responsibility for you, you right now. And he was like, no. I mean, it was just a big old meltdown. So after that, the next time he came, he was like, can I please keep her overnight? I promise she'll have 3 baths a day. At first, it was a firm no, but then I was like, okay, I'm going to let her go, because she wanted to go, but I had told her before I told him, I was like, next time, you're not going to be able to stay night with your daddy, because she knew I was upset about that bath thing. And I said, you have to be responsible and let your dad know that you need a bath. And it's like making your kid be parentified. Like, I put a lot of responsibility on her, but it's age-appropriate responsibility. Like, you should not have to remind your parent that you need your butt washed. That's like the basic. That's the basic things that parents do, is feed and bathe their kids. A parent like me, y'all watch me do other things like teach her and, you know, life lessons and all that type of stuff. But that is the bare minimum that he could not do. So anyway, I ended up letting her stay the night with him. And she did have a bath every day. But it's just crazy that it had to come to that. Again, he do not talk to her every day. He, I don't know where his thought process is concerning parenting. I do know that responsibility is a thing that he does not want right now. He don't want the responsibility of a family. He don't want the responsibility of being a dad. He told me that he did not want to be a husband anymore, but he wants to be a dad, and being a dad is all he ever want to do. So, okay, cool. Like, well, why you ain't doing that? Like, but anyway, like I said, it's just all weird. It's just all a bunch of lies. It's just all a bunch of fluff. And like I said, the lies is done. It's over with. Okay? Somebody did send him screenshots today of the stuff that I was saying in the comments, because he did call my phone for her today. Asked her, where's her phone? Why she ain't charge her phone? The same thing he always say, charge your phone. Your daddy trying to call you. And she'll say, okay. And she still don't charge that phone. But she will charge that phone when she want to go talk to him. Or if she want to go talk to one of her aunts or anybody, she'll charge her phone and then she'll call. But she's not a kid that has a phone in her hand all of the time. Now, one point in time, he did ask me, he said, can you do me a favor? And can you make sure she keep her phone charged? And I said, absolutely not. I got my own phones to worry about. You decided to get her a phone. I'm not finna be responsible for her phone. So there's that. And I'm thankful that she's not one of those kids that got her phone in her hands all the time. However, if you're an adult, you have to behave like an adult. You do not sit around and wait for your child to call you. Now, if me, the mother, was to if he had full custody, and I sat around and waited for her to call me and call his phone every once or 2 weeks, is that a good look? Then keep her and don't give her a bath all weekend? What would y'all say about me? Like, seriously. And so, like I said, nobody is holding him accountable. People are over a damn shit that ChatGPT wrote? Absolutely not. But, yeah, I don't think that he told ChatGPT the full truth. I'm sure not. As far as he's saying about he's not jealous of anybody's mother, why would I make that up? I just pulled it out my ass that you jealous of my mama, who was also a mother to you too. I'm not going to speak on right now how I found out that he was jealous of my mom, but just know that I did find out. I knew at some point he was talking really weird. Like, he did not like the fact that my mother had my back. He did not like the fact that how close I am with my mom. He did not like that. And I was just like, it was just strange because we've been together for 14 years. Again, my mother was a mother to him too. So I'm like, where's she coming from? But looking back, it's because he had got in his place. Like I said, therapy opened up whatever he went through in his childhood. For y'all who do not know, he lost his mom when he was a young teen. And so he did not have a lot of guidance. And that is... it's so ironic that God has me talk about generational healing, generational trauma, and being with somebody who have experienced it, and I see what it does to someone. I see how it can affect the whole family. But what better way to help somebody if you're experiencing it in real time? Thank you. You know something? I made a video about this outfit too. I just ain't posted it yet. But thank you. I like the blue on me too. Mar actually picked out the shirt. But yeah, so I guess a part of my purpose is to help parents not avoid raising humans to become avoidant and suppressing and dealing with things that a lot of adults deal with. So yeah, I got to a place where I felt like my own child, while I was speaking about childhood trauma, my own child had experienced some trauma. And that is something that I wanted to avoid, but, you know, things happen. And so that's that. But my baby is doing very well. She's in a very happy space. She do miss her dad. Sometimes she cries for her dad. And I talk her through it. I help her breathe through it. When I told him that this would affect her, he said that she'll be fine. Probably because he was thrown to the wolves. But I don't think he realizes how it has affected him. So I would think you will want better for your child, but evidently not. Again, on his post, ChatGPT wrote, said that we grew apart. Now, if somebody grows apart, why don't you have a healthy co-parenting relationship? I don't understand that part, but I don't know. I don't understand that part. And I ain't no telling what lies he done told, as the reason why we don't have a healthy co-parenting part. As far as her graduation, he contacted somebody from Vance County, probably one of his ex-co-workers, found out, what time her graduation was, which is very weird to me. Because I don't know why he could have just asked me. I would have told him what time the graduation was. I don't fuck with him, but I don't be like, I ain't about to tell you what time the graduation is or whatever. Now when he wants to get her, he get her. So, I don't know. I do know that those people, though, they expect you to chase them. And I know that it's affecting him that I am not. And I'm not going to chase him. Because, again, I ain't chasing now, nigga. I stayed as long as I did because I was trying to be a godly wife. I absolutely wish I would have left him sooner. I know he has abandonment issues, but I still wish I would have left him sooner because at one point I had self-abandoned myself. As far as my depression go, I absolutely was depressed. And when he started doing all that finger pointing at me, I realized that I was depressed because I was parenting by myself. I was not parenting by myself our whole marriage, but when he got to this place, I was parenting by myself. And so that I talked to him about it. I talked to my mom about it. And, you know, nobody was really stepping in to do anything. He said that he didn't know what to do. So that's why he started talking about me to everybody or whatever the case may be. And then I had someone that I trusted that told me that my depression was not, my husband was not, it was not his responsibility to help me. I beg to differ, because when you in a relationship or you in a marriage, that is a partnership. You help one another. Just like when he was going through what he was going through. Like I told you, I was sitting with him, asking him about his feelings, holding his hand, praying for him, asking him how he feel, trying to show up for him. When you are married, it is absolutely your responsibility to help your partner, pull them up if they're down. You don't kick them while they're down. So with that being said, you have to be careful who you're taking advice from when you are married. Some people mean well, but some people probably never had a healthy marriage, so they don't know what it looked like. I, at one point, had a healthy marriage, so I know that ain't how they go. As the leader of the household, if somebody is falling, you do what you have to do to help them get up. You don't do a smear campaign. So, and that was another thing. He said, I'm not the leader of this house, you are. He was saying stuff like that. And it's because they get to a place where they don't, a lot of men, for real, don't know how to lead. And I think he got to a place where he did not know how. Was he always like that? No. He was a great leader. When I was going through things, he was able to help me through it. So I'm not going to sit up here and say and rewrite the whole marriage like he did and say that he was never nothing and he never did this and he never do that. I would never say that. I would never do that. But the rewriting part, when they tell lies and whatever, sometimes it's not a lie. Sometimes it's really delusion. Sometimes their brain is trying to make sense of the pain that they are experiencing right then. And so it comes up with all different types of things. It's a defense mechanism. And also another reason that they could be telling lies is because they don't want to take accountability. I know accountability was a big one for him. He definitely don't know how to take accountability. He'll say, I take accountability, but he don't really know what taking accountability means. So, another thing about that I noticed too, that he cannot deal with emotions of any kind. Like when a baby will cry, he'll be like, Mar, chill. Like he could not deal with emotions. And it's like, and I told him, I said, you're going to teach her to suppress. I said, I'm not asking you to go back to therapy for me, for our marriage. I'm asking you to go back for yourself, for your daughter. I said, you are a leader. I said, and in order for you to lead other people, I said, you have to know how to control your emotions, and you don't know how right now. And when I would tell him these things, he would take it as an attack because he knew it was true. I would tell him the wisdom that you need is found in God. Again, that would be taken as an attack. And I gave him examples. I was like, I told him, I said, when the baby gets upset, you don't know what to do. Even now, if she's on the phone with him, or let's say that she just was with him for the weekend, and she's on the phone crying with him, he'll say, be strong for daddy. Don't cry, be strong for daddy. No, don't tell her to be strong for daddy. That's why adults suppress, because they're trying to be strong. You have to feel your feelings. You have to process them. That's the only way you're going to heal. And so, again, I talk her through her feelings. We do breathing techniques. And that's what I'm going to start making videos about too, is sharing how to deal with your kids' emotions. Because I get it. A lot of parents don't know. A lot of us were not taught emotional control. I know I wasn't. Emotional intelligence, y'all know mine was on the floor last night. So I ain't all the way there yet. So, but us parents have to know how to teach our kids how to control their emotions. So, that's a whole nother thing. And that is very important, because if you don't, your ass can end up in jail, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is something major, knowing how to control your emotions. So, those are the kind of things that, are my lane, what I talk about when I do go live. But we about to kind of pivot to narcissism. And like I said, it's not to attack someone, but if I say something that affects you in a way or triggers you, you need to unpack that and ask yourself, okay, why does that trigger me? And then you deal with that accordingly. A lot of us are not self-aware. I am very self-aware. When I went live last night, I told y'all, I hate when I get like that. And I know I need to calm down. And I know that is, I don't know what word I'm trying to use, but I know that was a bit much. I'll say it like that. But I was in a space where I didn't care. And do I regret it? Again, no, I don't. I said what I said. So, yeah, a lot of things that I'm going to be talking about, I have receipts for. So, again, nobody can say I'm lying on them. First of all, I'm not a liar. And that's just what that is. So, just be mindful, y'all. Ask God for discernment when y'all listening to people. If you put in a situation where you need to take sides or whatever the case may be, even if it's somebody you love, somebody that's close to you. Because like I said, we all go through things, and sometimes people hit really dark places and they don't know how to cope. So it is good to do therapy and prayer. I know a lot of black people be like, pray. So it is best to do both. As soon as I started going to therapy, last July, I got better pretty fast. So I definitely recommend therapy. I start going back to therapy next week. And when I go live next week, I'll share some of that with y'all too. So, because y'all know last year I was promoting the therapy thing very hard. Like, go to therapy, don't quit, see it all the way through. So, I'm going to let y'all go because I don't have y'all long enough. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. I'm going to try to finish getting those videos of the graduation edited because I know some of y'all want to see what the baby had going on. So I'm going to get that done for y'all as soon as possible. And I'll talk to y'all later.